I want to talk to you about step van, no personal guarantee, business lines of credit this year. I want to share with you the top 5 players you need to really think about if you're looking for step van, no PG, business lines of credit. So here are the best I want you to really focus on right now. The first step van, no PG, business line of credit actually comes from NBC, National Business Capital. And so when you think about NBC, I want you to first think about scalability. I want you to think about efficiency, but most importantly, I want you to think about speed of fund release. So NBC will make sure. By the way, NBC stands for National Business Capital. They will release funds within 24 to 48 hours. Okay, and you are looking at a maximum business line of credit for your step van business for up to $5 million. Okay, so they go from 10,000 all the way to $5 million. The cool thing is that when you think about the NBC, you are able to get a step van, no PG business line of credit to do all kinds of stuff. Like you can actually you can take care of your step van business, like the back office. You can try to really expand the business. You can do marketing. You can hire new drivers. You can do a lot of things. So the flexibility is actually within this step van, no PG business line of credit. Now, on the flip side, you have to be aware that National Business Capital might charge you origination fees. They might charge you prepayment penalties. They might charge you late payment fees. They might charge you annual fees, and they might charge you also draw fees. So it's one of those things where before you actually assign a step van, no personal guarantee, business line of credit with National Business Capital, just make sure that you go through the fine prints and have a clear idea of how much they're charging you overall. Okay, and the cool thing is National Business Capital also can give you a business loan for your step van. So if for any reason you don't like the terms and conditions of the business line of credit that they are actually extending to you, you can just go for the loan. I mean, the loan might be better for you depending on your situation. Okay, but overall, 10,000 all the way to $5 million, and to actually qualify, you can have a 300 FICO score minimum, and you can still qualify, not a problem. And this is no PG. If you are looking for a step van, no PG business line of credit this year, I want you to think about Crestmont Capital. So Crestmont Capital is a pretty solid player that you can really think about. And with Crestmont Capital, you can be approved for a business line of credit up to $50 million. $50 million. Can you imagine? That's really crazy. I mean, no personal guarantee. Of course, if you want to have $50 million, you have to have a solid financial position for your step van business. Okay. But the cool thing about Crestmont Capital, also kind of similar to National Business Capital, is that Crestmont actually releases funds real fast. So basically with Crestmont, you can get your cash within 24 to 48 hours, but Crestmont actually limits the line of credit maturity to 5 years. So after 5 years, they will review the whole account. I mean, they review the whole account every year anyway, but after 5 years, they will have to see if they have to renew it or just end it. So this is kind of cool. And you can use a step van business line of credit through Crestmont Capital for a lot of things. You can use it for growing complex projects, for multiple vendors and timelines. If you want to grow the company itself to your step van business, you also if you want to hire more staff, more drivers, for instance, or you want to, let's say, respond to an RFP, a request for proposal, or you want to bid for a government contract. So you have a lot of possibilities that Crestmont brings to the table. Okay, and Crestmont actually will work with you. What you will love with Crestmont is that they will assign a business line of credit representative to your specific step van business. That way you can have a conversation with one single point of contact, and you can ask all questions. Okay, but you have easy access to your Crestmont step van, no PG business line of credit. As I said before, you have lines of credit up to $50 million. You have one-page initial application so that you never have to worry about funding again. You have unlimited draws against the equipment line of credit. That's really good. You simply submit an invoice and pick up your equipment, or you can get your cash like wired to your account real fast. If you are looking for a step van, no PG business line of credit this year, I want you to think about Teor Financial. So Teor Financial is pretty straightforward in the sense that they are going to they will approve your business line of credit for your step van business up to $400,000, and you are looking at a simple application online. Okay, no tax returns required, no PG required, no doc required really. Okay, so this is really good. So basically, you are able to work with Teor Financial to help boost your step van business real fast. Teor wants you to really be in business for at least 1 to 3 years before you can qualify for this no PG business line of credit. So it's one of those things where if you are a startup, you're not going to find Teor pretty friendly. So Teor in that sense is not really startup friendly. Okay. So, but if you have any question, it's just better to contact Teor to ask all questions before you can actually proceed further. So the number you can call right now is 1-800-747-9335. Again, the number is 1-800-747-9337. Okay, so that you have all kinds of, you can ask all questions, and they are actually open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, and Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific. Okay, and if you call and nobody's picking up the phone, leave a message, somebody will call you back. Or you can send an email. You can send an email through there is a form through the company's website, and they will call you back. And they're really fast. Now, when it comes to a step van, no PG business line of credit through Teor, basically once you call them, and once they call you back, they will assign, also kind of similar to Crestmont, they will assign a personal rep to you, and that personal rep will actually will drive all the conversations from then on. You can ask all questions. The rep will also direct you to the right funding program so that you know exactly how much you can qualify for in the short run, but also in the long run. So that's really good from a scalability point of view. If you are looking for a step van, no personal guarantee, business line of credit, I want you to think about OnDeck. So OnDeck is actually a great player when it comes to equipment financing, particularly for step van businesses. Okay, so when it comes to OnDeck, OnDeck is not as generous as Crestmont or National Business Capital or Teor, because OnDeck is limiting you to $100,000. So you are looking at credit limits from $6,000 to $100,000. But the cool thing is that you have the possibility to tap into a revolving line of credit. You can draw from 24/7 to receive funds within seconds. Okay, and you also have flexible repayment terms of 12, 18, or 24 months. So that's really great. So this is actually great for smaller ongoing equipment expenses for your step van business. Okay, and so this is kind of cool. And if you don't like, for any reason you don't like the terms and conditions that OnDeck actually brings to the table, you can just sign up for their term loan, because they have a term loan too. So besides the line of credit, they can also qualify you for the OnDeck term loan. So this is actually a one-time lump sum of cash with an eventual option to apply for more. So here, when it comes to term loans, OnDeck is more generous, because they will approve you for a maximum of $250,000. So you are looking at $5,000 all the way to $250,000. And here you have repayment terms up to 24 months. And so one thing for sure, when you think about OnDeck, just remember that they never go above 2 years in terms of repayment window. Okay, that's really important to think about. They always want to limit the repayment window. And you have also you have no hard credit pulls. So for your step van, no PG business line of credit, or even personal business loans, you have a soft pull process, a pre-qualification process. That's important. You can check your eligibility without affecting your credit score. Okay, you have fast funding also, so you have lines of credit that can fund instantly. And also what's good is that you can actually build business credit history. So OnDeck will report to business credit bureaus like Experian Business, Equifax, and Dun& Bradstreet. So that's really fantastic. That's really fantastic from a scalability point of view. And the application process through OnDeck is pretty straightforward. You just complete the online application, you get a decision, and if you want to move forward, then you can actually talk to like a loan rep that will really walk you through all the possibilities that you can expect through OnDeck this year. So that's really fantastic. Next, you have a funding circle. So if you're looking for the step van, no personal guarantee, business line of credit, I want you to think about funding circle. So funding circle will actually give you a business line of credit, maximum loan line of credit amount, $250,000. So that's really good. Okay, that's really good, and you can tap into this line of credit at any time, Okay, so this is kind of cool in terms of flexibility. There is no application fee. There are no prepayment penalties. This is a no PG business line of credit, and you can draw funds as needed, as often as needed. So with access to a revolving structure, your credit line replenishes as you make repayments, and you are free to draw on the credit line up to the available limit. So maximum here is $250,000. Okay, so Funding Circle, it has been around for a while, and this lender offers also more than a line of credit, so you can actually qualify for your step van business. You can qualify for a loan, for instance. You can qualify for all kinds of funding programs. So a business line of credit is not the only funding program that this lender has. And to apply, you have kind of similar to OnDeck. You have a 3-step process. So basically, you have you can also, by the way, you can pre-qualify for a Funding Circle line of credit. So this is kind of cool. So basically, there's no obligation, there's no document required. Just give a few pieces of information about your business, your cash inflows and cash outflows, and basically somebody from Funding Circle will contact you to take it further. And basically, they call it dedicated account manager. Okay, it's just a loan rep. It's just a loan rep. But the cool thing about Funding Circle is that Funding Circle is pretty flexible, pretty comfortable with allowing you to use the cash for all kinds of business uses. Like you can offset costs during the busy season, you can keep it on hand for emergencies, you can purchase more inventory, and you can upgrade your business. So that's kind of cool in terms of flexibility, in terms of scalability, and also in terms of speed. Fantastic. So those are the top 5 step van, no personal guarantee business lines of credit. So here are the considerations I want you to think about. When you think about no personal guarantee business lines of credit, you are speaking about the larger context of business equipment needs, right? The big question is, what do you need your business line of credit for? Do you need it for to buy a new vehicle? Do you need it for the back office? Do you need it for the front office? That's really important to really pay attention to. And what types of equipment would you need to run your step van business? Okay, so understandably, where you run your business and the type of business you can run impact the kind of equipment you need and what your options are for business equipment financing, especially when it comes to step van businesses. Okay, some industries, like depending on the clients you serve, you might have a specific fitting within the vehicle itself. Some industries, such as construction, landscaping, agriculture, healthcare, energy, and transportation, require high-priced commercial equipment financing. On the lower end of the price spectrum, business equipment needs to target sole proprietors and smaller businesses, such as those providing translation, writing, accounting, and digital marketing services. So it's one of those things where if you have a step van business and you're looking for equipment financing in general, you got to really choose the lender to speak to appropriately. But if for any reason you do not qualify for a business line of credit for your step van business, you can always try an equipment loan. So basically, you can go for a loan, okay? Because a business line of credit is kind of different from a business loan. So maybe Sorry about this. Maybe you want to focus on having a business loan more, okay? Because a business loan gives you more stability, more flexibility, more more planning. You know how much you have to pay or you have to disperse every month, so you can plan your inflows and outflows more appropriately. So this is something to really think about. So what I'm trying to say is that when you actually are looking for a step van, no personal guarantee, business line of credit, always remember that you have the option to actually think about a business loan. Okay, if you don't have a business line of credit, you can just go for a business loan. That's for sure. So besides business loan, you also have all forms of other funding programs when it comes to step van businesses. For instance, you have leasing business equipment, you have operating leases, you have capital leases. You also have the ability to buy equipment with a business line of credit. Okay, and so one thing I want to say is that when you think about leasing business equipment, it really depends on your willingness to actually own or just use a step van for your business, not on a permanent basis, but just as a permanent, as a temporary, let's say, strategy. Okay, so leasing a step van requires less cash upfront and could also cover equipment maintenance for little or no cost. So leasing contracts are typically administered through the equipment seller and can be offered in two different options. So you have operating leases and you also have capital leases. So for operating leases, you do not own the equipment. Payments are operational expenses. The length of the lease varies, and shorter leases usually have higher monthly payments. There are also typically a high early termination penalties to leave a lease early. So something to really think about if you are planning on signing a lease this year. What about capital leases? Capital leases are like loans. So for accounting purposes, you own the equipment and you claim depreciation and interest expenses. Although every lease is structured differently, a lease's lifetime cost is typically higher than you would get with a business loan or buying the equipment with a business line of credit. So replacing the equipment when the lease is up could also be expensive, and the lease might have a slew of other requirements like mandatory lesser imposed service contracts, taxes, and insurance costs. So this is something to really think about. And you could also buy your step van vehicle, your next step van vehicle, with a business line of credit. You can also do that. It really depends on the agreement that you have with the lender. This is totally possible, okay? But the possibility is there when it comes to being upfront with the lender. Like you can tell the lender right away, listen, I need a step van, no PG, business line of credit to buy a used or new step van. I need to have a new vehicle, a new model, for instance, or used model, for example. So be straightforward, be upfront with the lender right off the bat. So in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about step van, no personal guarantee, business lines of credit. I give you a list. So I give you the best, the considerations, and the conclusion. So the best, you have a National Business Capital, Crest Capital, Teor Financial, OnDeck, and Funding Circle. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.